Today is August 16th. Welcome on into Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com. Brought to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Royal Banks of Missouri. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey. Rammer Cardinals are up 2 games now on the Milwaukee Brewers as they welcome the Colorado Rockies into town. And quite frankly, I mean, it feels like they owe them a few this week here on the home field.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how they match up. You couldn't make any mistakes in Denver, and not that I'm saying it's okay to make mistakes now, but they're a different ball club away from home. Their hitting's not as good. Their pitching's a little bit better, but they're just not as good away from Denver. And I think we'll probably see that play out the next 3 days.
Yeah, and it'll get off to a nice start tonight as the lefty Kyle Freeland is on the mound. So if you are in a state where you can do so, place your bets on Albert Pujols hitting career home run number 690 on the season today. The red hot Albert Pujols, who is in the Cardinal lineup for tonight. And hey, before I get to that lineup, if you want tickets to the game tonight, I got 2 of them. I got them. They're in the Claib seats, not the Claibs Online. They're not that. It's not the Claibs Online seats. Those are okay tickets. Those are nice tickets. Those are section 162, 163. You're looking right at Tyler O'Neill the whole game. That's fine.
Good.
These are in 143. These are the Claib seats that are right behind the first base dugout. Hey, comment below. We will have a winner picked out at the end of this. No matter what platform you're listening to, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, just comment, reply to however you're watching this right now, and we will pick a winner once we wrap the show up this afternoon. And hey, Albert's on, and like I said to Claibs earlier, I said, hey, we're gonna have tickets for all these games down the stretch run, and he said not that much. He's like what he said is that what he is seeing, what he is experiencing from people right now is a 1998 Mark McGwire like excitement around Albert Pujols chasing number 700 due to how hot he is right now with the bat and how hot he's been now for the last month.
One other warning for the people who win Mike Claiborne's tickets tonight. You will be inundated with people coming by looking for Mike. And most of them will be really famous people, politicians, generals, writers, actors, musicians. So you will have at least 25, 30 people coming up and say, hey, where's Claibs?
Yeah, well, pretty much. Yeah, you're right about that. Which also too, Rammer, we have talked a lot about when our first Daily Cards Live road trip is going to be, and I know you and I have thrown around ideas and trying to work around the Billiken schedule. I feel like you and I think Pittsburgh, October 2nd through 5th. I feel like I think we make the call to head out there and see if we can see career home run number 700 at PNC Park, a park that I have never been to. I don't know if you have, but I've never. I think we put it on the calendar, and you should be able to move around freely by then. Basketball hasn't started yet. I think we might have something to circle on the calendar.
I'm working out the details in my head as we speak. As Kramer once said, up here, I'm already gone.
So let's give you the lineup tonight for home run number 690 that Albert's going to hit and tell you how it shapes up. 2 lefties on the mound. Already mentioned Kyle Freeland on the mound for the Rockies. Jose Quintana makes another start for the Cardinals, and they will be led off by Dylan Carlson in center field, Tyler O'Neill in left, Paul Goldschmidt at first, Nolan Arenado at third, Albert Pujols DHing tonight batting 5th, Tommy Edman at second, Paul DeYoung at short, Yadier Molina behind the plate, and Lars Nootbaar is in right field. Rammer, there's not a whole lot to nitpick with that lineup, but if we do, I think I'm going to guess you're going to look at that 6-7 spot in the lineup, and just that would be the only thing you would look at and say, maybe not, not going to complain.
The thing to look at, not for tonight, I'm fine with it for tonight, but moving forward, if O'Neill's going to remain in the 2-hole against lefties, he's got to start producing. He's hitting the ball hard occasionally, had a big game the other day. It's got to be more consistent. He's in that rocking chair spot for a reason. and everybody's rooting for him. Everyone knows what he did last year. Now it's the stretch run almost, not quite, but it's time to start producing out of that 2-hole.
Yeah, and I don't know what if they've tried Edman and Carlson up there. They have tried a few different things. I wonder if they continue to not get that production from there, if they revert back to what they did at the beginning of the season and go with Goldschmidt there at number 2, and then go Goldschmidt, Arenado, and then into I guess Albert or Gorman. I don't know.
Well, here's what would support doing that is, again, continued failure ahead of them, move them up. And if Albert continues to hit, you've got the legit number 4 guy. So you go 2, 3, 4 instead of 3, 4, 5. Ideally, you'd rather have an on-base guy or a couple of them in front of the big boys. And we've got to see more Brendan Donovan. He's the only guy that's shown he can do that. We've talked about this before. I'm a little frustrated because I like on-base guys. So we'll see what happens over the next – they won't do any knee-jerk stuff, but give it 4 or 5 days, and we'll see how it plays out.
The other thing to kind of to look at this week into the weekend series in Arizona is how the Cardinals are going to line up their starting pitchers, because right now they have decided they are going to skip Dakota Hudson's spot in the rotation.
Yeah, which
means he will be out in the bullpen. He and Palante will both be available if needed out there. And I think as you move forward, I mean, right now you have a really good 4 starters. And I know we touched on it a little bit yesterday, but you with Quintana and Montgomery pitching the way that they have their first few starts for the Cardinals, and then you look at what Michaelis and Wainwright have done all year, that's a really formidable 4 that the Cardinals are throwing out there.
Yeah, it is. And you got me started when you mentioned the postseason schedule. I started looking at it. You might need an extra guy once. Again, things could change with weather and who's healthy and all those kinds of things. So if you can lock in on these 4 and keep them consistent, however, you're still trying to win a division. You can't back into this thing. I'd be surprised if the second place team in the Central makes postseason. You've got to win the division. So you got to have a 5th starter here after this time through the rotation. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know who's going to step up, and they've still got to figure out some of the order and the way to use some of the guys in the bullpen. So it's far from a done deal with the pitching staff, but it at least is trending in the right direction.
It's funny you mentioned that. Right now, if the postseason ended today, MLB posted on their social medias earlier, the Cardinals would be the 3 seed, having won the National League Central, and the Brewers would be on the outside looking in. Brewers right now 2 games behind the Padres for that 3rd wild card spot, that 6th seed, and the team that would come to St. Louis for the best of 3 game series, weekend series here in St. Louis. The Braves would be hosting the Phillies, and then the Dodgers and the Mets sitting and waiting. And I don't know. I haven't read and to see if they reseed after those first after that first round or not. I don't know.
They do.
Okay,
I should check for sure. Don't.
The way the bracket is set up, it does not look like they would be. The bracket is not posted in a way that would show reseeding.
No. I don't believe they will.
Yeah. So that is what to look at right now. Also, too, in the American League, if you're interested, the Guardians and the Blue Jays would be your 3-6 matchup. I'm gonna pat myself on the back there for calling them the Guardians and not slipping up on that. Mariners and Rays on the other side with the Yankees and the Astros as your 2nd and first seed. Hey, a little other baseball news for today. Just a few quick hits. The Rangers fired their manager yesterday after a very disappointing season. So that $1 that I threw on the Rangers to win the AL West, more wasted money that I have thrown out there. Same with the $1 I threw on the Tigers to win the AL Central. That too, yeah. That's also a little bit of a waste.
Talking about the Rangers, what if they'd have called up Matt Carpenter? Would that have saved his job? Probably not, but man, it seems like everything they did tied his hands.
How far away are those walls at the new Globe Life Park?
Don't know.
Right. And also, too, this just came out. We were mentioning the Pirates earlier. I don't know if you saw the story last week. Rodolfo Castro, a rookie, was called up, and while sliding into third base head first,
the phone.
An item popped out of his back pocket. He had forgotten to take his cell phone out of his back pocket, never felt it there because he had his sliding guard in the back pocket. It came out of his pocket. He has been suspended 1 game by Major League Baseball for having unapproved technology on the field.
I'm sure it was an accident by the way he and everybody else reacted, but the suspension's right. What they need to do is take all technology off the field and out of the dugout, including the catcher-pitcher helmet thing. It gets loud. We saw this weekend. It's a precursor to postseason. It's too loud. It's not going to work. Get rid of it. Albert,
having a veteran catcher like Yachty there working a pitching staff is going to come in handy.
Albert looking at the iPad. Sorry, you got to go back into the clubhouse if you're going to do that. No electronics. Once you come up those steps, no electronics in the dugout, bullpen, or field should be the rule, hard and fast.
So, Rammer, I know I've mentioned it a couple times. Albert, 690. Tonight, the hot streak he's on facing a lefty. Does he get it?
I think I certainly would be rooting for it, and I wouldn't be shocked if he did it. But I always try to put, even though I'm not a bettor, to try and get what I truly think about something. What if I had $100 on it? You'd bet no. You'd bet no. But you wouldn't shock me one bit. Not one bit. Stay hot. Speaking of Albert, lefties and lineups, or when you take one thing to keep an eye on, folks, as you look at this 3-game series, we already talked about being from mile high down to sea level or almost sea level. It's real funny about Freeland, Marquez, and Senzatella. In some ways, mildly so, but they all have sort of reverse righty-lefty splits. So how much will that affect how Ollie uses his lineup? Does he go the simple route? Oh, it's a lefty, I'll put my righty guys in. If it's a righty, I'll put my lefty guys in and leave it at that. Or will he look at some of those splits and factor in who's hot, who's not, and those sorts of things? So I guess what I'm also saying is don't be alarmed if he goes against the traditional righty-lefty thing here in these midweek games because of those mildly reverse splits.
It's plus 450 right now for Albert to homer in tonight's game. I do have a lineup out for the Rockies before we get going. Quickly here, Connor Joe leads off and plays left. Charlie Blackmon's DHing. Brendan Rodgers is at second. CJ Cron at first. Jose Iglesias at short. Randall Grichuk in right. Elurius Montero is at third. Brian Servin is behind the plate. And Whitten Bernard is in center field. That going against the opposing Cardinals of Carlson, O'Neill, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Pujols, Edman, DeYoung, Molina, and Nootbaar. There are your lineups for tonight's game. This has been another edition of Daily Cards Live, brought to you each and every weekday by Munganast St. Louis Acura and Royal Banks of Missouri.
Royal Banks, where better service means better banking. For over 50 years in St. Louis and now the East Side and Northeast Missouri, each branch feels like your hometown bank at Royal Banks of Missouri.
He's Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. We will talk to you tomorrow afternoon right here on Daily Cards Live, only on ClaibsOnline.com.
St. Louis Acura has almost 200 pre-owned vehicles in stock with inventory arriving daily and can offer the best trade-in value. While others raise their prices and fees, we choose to earn your repeat and referral business by not taking advantage of the current market situation. We invest in our team, becoming one of St. Louis's top places to work and fastest growing companies. St. Louis Acura remains committed to becoming better than ever for you. Located at Manchester and Mason Roads.